What is up, guys? We are back with a new sound advice, and typically there's three of us, and it's not a sound advice, audio
Sound
digest.
advice. Yes.
I have no idea. Just scratch that. We got
Let's start over.
DIY Hi-Fi, Impulse Audio, and we have Stas with us, who's going to tell us a lot about this product right here called the Acoustas AC650, and we're going to be talking about DSP in general as well because he is a DSP guru. So if you guys have questions about DSP, about Acoustas, about the AC650, about why Ryan is so bright on his screen, just go ahead and throw them in the chat section. We'll make sure to talk about those when we see them.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think our last podcast about DSP was so popular. A lot of people were very interested in the topic. So this is perfect timing. Get somebody in here who does it, knows it, and we can talk about it a little more. And we can talk about the AC650 product and whatever else you have cooking, Stas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I always thought it was funny because when me and Cameron were first talking, we talked about this before, Cameron and I, we each got an Acoustas AC650, right? And when we got that in, we're talking about it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I was talking to Stas. How he put his name in the amplifier." He's like, "Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that."
Absolutely. Yeah. So the reason for putting my name on it is because, like, if you truly believe in something, this is something my dad told me. If you truly believe in something, you got to put your name on it. That's just how.
I like that.
Like, he's like, you want to roll with this forever. Like, you want this to be your legacy. Put your name on it. Like, stamp it. I was like, that's all right. All right. He's like, you believe? I was like, absolutely. This is the future. We're gonna do this. And he's this is it. I mean, we originally the original name of the company was Audio Child. But he's like, no, this is
like that
your name. Like, put your name. So actually, he came up with the name. So acoustics is very important, and we can talk about that as well. And guys, thank you so much for having me. What a treat! What a pleasure! I'm a huge fan of all you guys, and this is so great. Thank you, guys.
We're happy to have you.
Yeah.
We're really excited to talk to you. And DSP is a topic that so many people have yet to dip their toe into, that it makes it such an exciting thing to talk about
so
in the
exciting.
DIY realm, because there's so much to learn and so many people to introduce the hobby to. So
yeah, it's amazing.
Well, let's first start with DSP and let's talk about this.
Yeah.
This is the AC650. Now, for those of you who don't know about it, the reason why it's called the 650 is because it has 6 powered outputs that are capable of 50 watts.
Oh, okay.
Maximum.
See, I don't know anything about this product. So that's...
Yeah.
Yep. So there's 6 powered outputs, but there's 10 total outputs. So there are 4 that are passive. And Stas, why don't you tell us a little bit about this? Because some people have asked, what amplifier chips are here? What's going on with the DSP? And,
let's.
I think there's a lot of questions about this in general.
Absolutely. Well, there's a lot to unpack, and this is going to be an exciting episode. I'm going to rewatch it myself because I'm so excited for it. The thing about the time right now is that it's never been a better time to get into audio, mostly because of DSP. And that's why, like, before, even getting into talking about the AC650, I think there is a lot, there's a lot of information that people just don't really know about yet. And I want to talk a little bit about that. So first of all, there are many different DSPs out there. There's, just like, when people say DSP, they usually talk about just a general term, and a lot of times in the hi-fi community, they don't like the DSP and things like that. However, the word DSP is basically a very general word. It's very general, and DSP is just like saying vehicle. It's not really, you're not really talking about it. So I want to break it down a little bit and talk about the different types of DSPs there are. There's really 3 types of DSPs that people should know about, okay? There's many more, but 3 for audio world that are very important to us as audio people. One is a purpose-built DSP. 2 is a general purpose DSP, and 3 is a computer-based DSP. So some of the super high-end DSPs like Trinoff systems, they use computer, like Bach, for instance. By the way, if you guys haven't checked out Bach, like at the, if you guys go to conferences, there's a guy from Princeton. He does this Bach system. It's about $30,000, so it's a little pricier than ours, but it's amazing. And what's interesting is that there's a lot of similarities, but the way that I want to talk about these three different DSPs is that one of them is a specialty built DSP, this category. And within that category, the specialty built, there are layers, there are levels to it. Within the general built, this is like your Shark, for instance. Shark DSPs is something that people use a lot. This is, you see a lot of this in like mini DSP and things like that. Shark, I'm not going to talk too much bad stuff about Shark, but Shark is a general purpose DSP, and it's pretty good. But there's also the computer. The computer one.
So
yeah.
Can I?
Yeah, of course.
Can I clarify?
Yes,
real quick,
of course.
Stas? I think just so we don't lose people. When we're talking about this, we're talking about the DSP chip itself.
Yes.
So the DSP chip itself, or family of the chip, is important because if we look at them, they have different capabilities. Correct, and they
Exactly.
utilize.
I should have
DSP
clarified.
differently
See,
as well.
when we were talking before the show, I was like, a lot of times I just assume people know stuff. Yes, you're absolutely right. So when you're building a DSP, for instance, if you're a manufacturer, and I'll talk from that perspective. When you're building a DSP, you basically got to make a choice. Do you go with a purpose-built? Do you go with a hybrid? Or do you go with a computer-based? So computer-based, the downside of computer-based is there's other stuff going on. There's overhead. There's a ton of overhead that you need to figure out how to run that operating system that it focuses on signal processing. And to do that, you need to have basically stripped down like Linux version or something like that. That's the only thing it does. You got to keep temperatures right. It's a whole thing. But it is possible, and some of the top of the line DSPs, they use that. So that one would be, kind of like a special case. People do use it. It's very good. The general purpose is kind of like you have like a truck. Like you have a truck that you can take to the shop. You can put some lumber in it. You can do anything you want to it. However, the purpose-built, the top of the line purpose-built is basically like a Formula One race car. It's not good to take to the store. You're not going to take a Formula One to get groceries. You're not going to Lowe's with it or anything like that. But on a straight track, if you're going fast, if you're going as fast as you possibly can, you're not wasting any cycles. You're going as fast as you can. And that's why we chose to go with a purpose-built version. It is super reliable, and we really like working with it, and it's scalable, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But just three things to know. One is that there's purpose-built. Two, there is kind of like general purpose, and that's what Shark is. Shark is really good for like radar work. We've done some stuff with that, which is, it's great for just general purpose, lots of input sort of thing. And then there's the computer. So does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
So
did
real
you
quick
build it up?
before we go forward, Joe Sharpentier had some nice things to say about you. He said he had purchased the Acoustas AC650 white version, which is this one.
Yes.
And he plagiarized Cameron's build with the Tengbei W6 and HiFi
cool.
woofers, although he substituted Dayton Audio's 7-inch woofer.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that's the same 7-inch woofer that people use in Paul Carmody's build. Also the same build. I used one with Kirby
I've
Meets
used
Audio.
that Dayton Audio driver.
And then
Good.
he said, what RS180, right? RS180, yeah.
I use a linear
I got to
power supply
say, with the SMSL
Okay.
PL200, too.
Got a better sounding system in 25 years.
He is
so
extra on
that's
flop.
awesome. So
Never heard of her. Yep, 25. And then wait, he goes on. Let's hear a couple more things.
Let me get a drink.
He wrote a book to
Thank
you,
you,
man.
Joe. That's awesome.
He's saying his love for Acoustas.
That's awesome, Joe. Thank you so much.
I'm in love for the Acoustas for so many reasons. Its ease of use, features, cost, bottom line, performance. I literally can't say enough about it. I could never build a passive crossover, but with the AC 650, I can dial in the exact sound and I want. It's close to perfect as I've ever owned. Thank you, Stas, and your team for building something that changed the way I listen
I should
to
hire
music.
this guy. That's amazing. We don't have a sales team.
He's a plant.
Joe can...
He's a
Thank you,
plant.
Joe. Yeah, I'm
That's
like
awesome.
trying to think, and I'm reading the comments. I'm like, whoa, that's awesome. Thank you, Joe. But basically, right now is a very exciting time. So the way that we think about systems, the way that we think about audio, is it comes from a different place. Usually, hi-fi is thought of as like, okay, let me back up and talk about like when you talk to manufacturers and when you talk to audiophiles, I usually ask them, I'm like, what is it that makes a hi-fi system a hi-fi system? And 9 out of 10 times they will use this word revealing. It's revealing.
Oh yeah.
You guys heard this word, revealing?
Yeah.
And I was like, but what does
Never.
this revealing mean? What do you mean by revealing system? And all of them say, you have a very smooth frequency, flat frequency. You have really good cohesive phase response. You have good impulse response. And I'm like, all these things sound very technical, sound like you probably want to use a DSP. And a lot of them go, oh no, DSP is like it's for cheaper speakers and this and that. And I go, okay, well, that's nice. What do you guys use? And they most, not all, some are actually switching. But what's interesting is more and more manufacturers who try DSP, a lot of them are scared because they're worried that the market won't adopt it. They're worried they're going to build something and no one will buy it because there's a lot of, I don't know, one person, like somebody that's really reputable will say something and everybody's just like, yeah, this is, D'Agostino and all this stuff. I mean, they're great stuff. Like, I'm not against it. But I think you can get to... yeah,
Stas,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, we actually had that conversation last week, Ryan and I especially, and I think Cameron was there too, where, and I think we want to get there at some point in the during the broadcast is... we don't see very many people or very many competitors in the DSP realm. There's mini DSP, there's now Acoustas, and then there's like the cheap Shure amplifier.
Yeah,
boards
no,
or
it's
Dayton
amazing.
Audio or whatever. There's not a lot, at least for home audio.
Yeah.
Car audio, that's a little different story, but home
Yeah,
audio.
in fact, we kind of ended that podcast with me saying, hey, the recent DSP that I purchased kind of bombed. Are there any other suggestions out there? And a few people had some things, but it was like I'm in this world. I mean, I've been out of it for a few years, but I'm in this world and I don't even really know what's out there because there aren't many options.
Ryan, I've missed you, man. I'm so glad you're back.
So let me ask you this: why is that?
Why is that? Because it's hard. It's very
that,
hard.
Stas?
That's why. You need to have top of the best people working on this. By the way, shout out to the team. You guys are the best, okay? I mean, the team, there's 5 people working basically full time, and I'm the 5th smartest one, okay? Literally the best of the best. Shout out to Arthur. He does all the routing, all the electrical engineering. Shout out to Chris, Dr. Feigl. You rock. Dr. Wiersbe, without Dr. Wiersbe, I mean, he measures everything. He was my professor at Michigan State University. Who did all the analog stuff. He's the king of tube amps, okay? He literally has classes. You can download his classes on tube amplifiers at circuitlava.com. He has everything that's analog. So he basically makes sure that what we build is top of the line. He has the best, his house is like a playground of like measuring equipment from like
audio precision.
Amazing.
So I've got kind of this.
Mhm.
I've got this kind of an impression that it's like Stas in his basement with a CNC putting these things together and buying some, potentially buying some cheap chips and putting it in this thing. But I'm hearing you got like professors and stuff working on this stuff.
Yeah, best of the
He said
best.
doctor 3 times at least.
I know.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm the
3 different doctors.
Exactly. I'm the 5th smartest one. Yeah.
Now, one is a veterinarian, but
Actually, Dr.
just
Feigl
kidding.
does have a lot of good dogs and cats. So
oh,
he could be a veterinarian, yeah. Yeah, but anyway, so
but I mean I think that's what I think is good to know is that this isn't just Stas
I couldn't
by
do this by
himself.
myself.
This is
There's no way.
a whole team of people that are working. And if you open this, I
Here, I
wish I
could
would have
show
opened
you.
the top off of this because
Yeah.
if you open inside here, yeah, show the inside. I mean, it's impressive.
Very clean layout too. Really well thought out.
everything is wired by hand.
It is. It's very
Okay,
well thought out.
Let me talk about this. It's wired by hand by Arthur, okay, who wrote the software that does the routing in-house with his brother. Okay, every single thing is routed by hand. There's no auto router, nothing like that. We simulate everything, we route everything. It's like I said, without the team, it wouldn't be possible. And if you're watching this, maybe down the line, and you're a brilliant engineer and you want to be part of something amazing, contact us because we are putting together the best of the best to do something amazing. And that's what we're doing with this product.
And you have plans for the future as well. Like, this is not
Absolutely. And if
just
you
this.
stick around till the end of this podcast, I'm going to reveal 2 new products that we will have, hopefully September, if everything comes together, maybe October. We will have 2 new products to go along with the AC650.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I'm sticking around.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I'll be here.
Me too.
So this is the inside of it. I'll set this down, but I definitely there's so much to cover.
Okay, I got a question.
Yeah.
If there's so much to cover, let's try to focus it because
Yeah.
okay. So Cameron
That's a
and
great
Nick,
point.
they have one of these. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know much about this product other than I looked up your webpage and gave it a quick scan. So I got a bit of an idea of how many IOs and stuff are on there. So my
Yeah.
first question, as somebody who could potentially buy this,
Yes.
why are there no analog inputs?
IO.
Is that to avoid the ADA?
No, it's
Yeah.
absolute. So this product specifically, we wanted to build the perfect system, the perfect proof of concept, and I think we succeeded. And here's the concept. So majority of people use digital music. You have a digital source. You have Spotify, you have your Apple Music, you have some sort of digital music. This music is usually already in digital form. You take that music, okay, in the highest possible quality as digital, you bring it in. Then you sample it into the DSP at the highest possible quality. Very, very quality DSP. In that DSP, you do all the cool stuff that you want to do to every single driver. You can address every single channel. There's a lot of advantages, and we could talk about that. Instead of doing like EQ for the entire speaker, you address each individual driver. There's a lot of benefits to doing it that way. So you've got a clean signal coming in, you go to the DSP, then in the shortest path possible, you've got your perfect digital mathematical signal coming out from the DSP, going to amplification right away, either to DAC or to amplification. In the case of this amplifier, we decided to not even have a DAC. It doesn't have a DAC. It has something that only like 3 audio companies, and they're all like super high-end companies, they're taking a TDM or a digital signal and having it's a converter to PWM. So basically, there is no signal degradation. You're basically going straight from digital to analog. Why is that important? Well, if you turn the signal all the way up and put your ear straight to the speaker, God, please don't press play at that moment. But if you just listen, there's no noise. I'm talking,
Okay.
It's a clean black canvas. It's very, very deep. There's nothing there. So we originally were going to call this amplifier Canvas, okay? Because it's a blank canvas. And then on top of this canvas, we wanted to give the ability to people to do any kind of filter that they want, EQ that they want, in a cohesive user experience that is hardware and software, so you can do it my dream. This is honestly I wanted this for myself. I want to be able to address each driver, each specific speaker from my phone whenever I feel like it. I don't want to get my laptop out, find my USB cord, sit down. I don't want to do any of that. I just want to bring it up and go, I want to put this, put this, put this. Okay, that's what. Walk up to that speaker. Okay, good. That speaker. Okay, good. And we've been working a lot on that. Yeah.
And that's
Can you do it from your computer too?
That's one of
Yes.
the things that both Cameron and I found really
You can.
special, and a lot of people I don't realize is you can take your phone or your computer, as long as it's hooked up to the same Wi-Fi network, okay, or same network in general. I guess it can be hardwired. As long as it's on the same network, you can control this. You can turn the volume up, you can turn the volume down. You can do all of your adjustments, such as your crossover settings. And so if you want to sit down in your seat and listen to it while you're making those adjustments, you can do that. So you can put your high pass on, your low pass on. You can do your EQ to it. And the cool thing that I liked about it is, like, say you got your left speaker sounding really, really good. You can then copy those settings over right onto your right speaker, whatever those outputs are. Say you use 1, 2, and 3 for your left speaker, and you're using 4, 5, and 6 for your right speaker. You just copy those right over, so you don't have to worry about guessing or remembering.
Absolutely.
I think kind of what Stas just touched on is why it's worked out perfectly for me. I understand the need and the desire to have the analog inputs, as Ryan just alluded to. But for someone like me, I'm in the digital world, and all my sources are digital, so they're coming straight out of my television. And so for someone like me, it's a perfect use case where I've got it in the TV, I'm running stereo sets of speakers, a couple subwoofers. I take my digital source, comes directly into the AC650. That's it. If I weren't running separately powered subwoofers, the AC650 would handle my entire living room setup on its own, from preamp to output. So for someone like me using just digital sources, and by the way, I want to validate what you said about the noise level. Especially the last 2 sets of speakers that I've built are both high efficiency designs, really high efficiency, and you don't hear a single bit of hiss coming out of this device. So, the power supply and everything that goes through it seems to be top notch, at least for my own.
And and part of that is also with the upgraded power supply too, which this version offers, and the other, there's a black version that also offers the upgraded power supply, correct?
It's actually basically, as far as noise, it's the same on both. There is maybe like a 4%. I mean, they're both terrific. Both of the power supplies are terrific. But the one that you guys have is a little bit better, just a little bit. And it's mostly on the measurement side versus I've got the AC going here. I would never be able to hear any of that ever. You know what I mean? Like, if you've got a regular house, the difference, you would have to be like an anechoic chamber to hear the difference between these power supplies. And actually, I have gotten critique from some people saying, like, why do you even give us this option? It's so close. Like, just make us not pick that option. And I'm like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So, I don't know. Yeah. We'll have to think about that.
How about this question on the
Well, CCD.
That's a great question.
Says, so does this interface with Dirac and Ru, or Dirac?
Yes. So we are massive fans of Room EQ Wizard. REW, it does interact. Basically, you can export graphs, and you can export a graph and drag it right into REW, and you will get your plot. I guess, can you guys see my phone if I was to go like this?
Here, let me see if I can make you bigger, okay?
Can I maybe share my screen? Is that a thing?
Yeah, you should be able to do that. We've done that in the past.
Yes, you can. Yep. If you hit share screen.
Oh, I see it. Allow. Let me go ahead and just show you guys some of the stuff, because I think it might be worth it to just show you guys.
See, if you had good hosts, they would have shown you that before.
It's great. Can you guys see?
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay, awesome.
Yep. I'm trying to figure out the best way to view it. I think that's
so. First of all, obviously, I have a lot of these amps in the house.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I have quite a few of them. But the idea is that you can have, and our future amps and everything, it's all cohesive. It's one design. It's one amp. Or one app that brings everything together. So in the listening room, yes, that is this one right here. Essentially, this is the user interface. When you choose your device, like this is the listen room right here. I mean, look at this user interface. And you get the same user interface on your phone and the computer. But the question, I guess, was specifically about REW, for instance, REW. So say, for instance, you create a curve. And can I make this bigger? Can you guys see it? If I make it bigger?
We can see it. It's good. Yeah. Well, you made it bigger.
So this is, so this is these speakers behind me. This is the curve that I created using this here EQ. And the way that I did it is I ran pink noise, okay? I ran pink noise, and then I'd give it some gain, and then I would slide it back and forth as I'm doing real-time analysis, RTA, and I find exactly what I want to correct or enhance, and boom, and that's how I made that. I'm gonna cancel it to put it back. But then, say for instance, you want to export this curve, you just go export chart, and this chart, let's do desktop, save. Let me bring up, where's my REW? I don't want to bore people, but basically you just drag and drop that right in. It's starting up, but basically you just drag and drop that in, and I guess I'm not sharing that screen, am I?
Yeah, it's a separate.
No, yeah, you share. Yeah. Well, it depends on how you share. So
I think, I don't want to bore people with this, but the idea is you just drop it in there, and that curve is in there now.
Yeah, you just import the curve right into REW.
You can just drag and drop it, and it just shows up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which most people.
Yeah.
That's even easier.
Yeah, you just drag it, and it's already there. So you can create like an ideal curve, drag it in there, and work with it. You can actually, what you can actually do is export filters from REW and import them into Acoustas app.
Yes. Very cool.
All right. Julio is asking the question that I asked.
Yes.
Julio, you need to watch my review because I put this in the review. But I think this is a good question, and I think we should take.
It is a good.
Does it work with FIR filters? How many taps for those filters?
So that is coming. That is something we're working on, and we don't want to. The reason why we haven't put it out yet with the FIRs is because we want to do it better than everybody else. And it's not about everybody else. It's we want to do it right. Every single feature here is so refined in the app. So one of the things you guys talked about last time is that the software it's a little limiting. Was kind of like what you guys were mentioning. The thing is, it's not. Yeah.
Well, I just think a lot of people expect FIR and IIR filters, especially if they're going to be using REW. Like if you're going to go into the details of REW and doing that, or if you're going to use
Rephase,
a program like Rephase and try to get linear phase, you would, you need those FIR and IIR filters. You need to know how many taps you have.
It's going to be quite a few taps. So once we do this, it's going to be done really well, and we're working on it. It is coming. As you guys know, like we've put out an update about every month. The latest update was insane how many different things came to this update. There were so many things, but we work at it. Dr. Feigl, shout out, work at it day and night, like all the time, like making it better, faster, smoother. There's a lot of stuff that goes under the hood that nobody knows about. But it's like watching The Matrix. When you plug it in and you see the code just running in the background, doing all the stuff, it's literally like The Matrix. Because, like, by the way, when you do stuff on one of the devices, it automatically shows up on your other device. As soon as you open the other device, it's live. It's literally synced up. And that's actually something that no one else can, maybe they're not doing. I don't know if they can. It's very complicated stuff. But it's all refined. And when we do the FIR filters, which I'm guessing it's going to be this month in July.
Wow.
Yeah. There's going to be FIR for the AC650. And when we do the next two products, those are going to be insane. There's going to be nothing even close to when it comes to FIR. And let me just quickly tell people that don't know what FIR filters are and what IIR filters are. Right, guys? Because like sometimes I do this thing where I just say it and I assume everybody knows. So with IIR, there's so you can change. You can do things like biquads. You can we have all sorts of filters that you can apply. Like for instance, if I want to address like this driver, for instance, and I want to put a Butterworth or Linkwitz and Riley, some sort of a filter, or I want to do EQs. I want to do very specific things. With IIR, they're just like analog world. They have phase implications, timing implications, group delay implications, which means you have to adjust things just to get them right. But with a DSP such as ours, you can do these things live, put them in a preset, try different things, measure things. It's a very dynamic process. It's closer to what we did with a data acquisition system. Go ahead, what were you going to say? Yeah, of course.
Can I interrupt you real quick? Yeah, because I think you skipped over something that's really important. You had said with the presets, and I don't think a lot of people know, inside your app you have three presets. And so you can actually work.
It's actually 8, guys.
Yeah.
It's 8.
It's 8.
Yeah. We added in the last update.
So just so you know, the app has
a lot
changed since we had it.
Yeah, one thing to Stas's credit, it's almost hard to keep up. They are always updating this thing. It's unrecognizable. I think he may have even used this word, but it truly is. You open it up and you're like, where's my stuff? Thankfully, it's always really easy to use and to find. So
But that's really cool for a couple reasons. One, if you want to hook up different speakers to it, you can already have one. Or if, like he's saying, if you want to A/B test even your own settings, you can really quickly A/B test them really quickly. Or A, B, C,
F,
D,
G.
E,
Yeah.
F, G.
yeah, and in my
That's
case,
right.
what I find myself doing is, we've already talked about, you can sit on the couch and it's really dynamic. You can change the crossover frequency. You can make EQ adjustments on the fly. But let's say I make 15 changes and I want to hear the difference between those 15 changes versus the other. Then I'll save it as a preset. And then I can go back and hear large differences rather than just toggling a few EQs here and there. I can save it and say, now, does this truly sound better, and switch over to a whole different sounding speaker? So
now let me say this real quick.
Look, I have heard.
Go ahead. Do you want to? Let me just say this.
No, go ahead.
Why?
No, you
these presets are very important, and the reason for that, usually in the world of audio, in the world of hi-fi, the way that people do testing is that they put some piece of gear in, they listen, then they take that piece of gear out, put another piece of gear in. In reality, our memory, you have to be a savant to remember what it sounded like before in order to hear it again. There was, Dr. Hartman did a paper on acoustic memory, and it's literally like 4 seconds for the smartest people in the world. Everything else we just make up.
Yeah.
So like to be able to actually hear the difference, you have to do it within like 7 milliseconds in order to hear the differences. So that's why these presets are so important when tuning, and not only when you're tuning, but like just to blow your own mind. You're sitting there and you're just like listening to a song. I do this for songs too, and I definitely want to cover this if we have time. But there is a reason for the tone control. There's a reason to shape your sounds based on what you're listening, instead of just having a fixed system that's just a fixed, and that's what it is. You're missing out. You're leaving money on the table by not tuning by not playing with the tone control for each song, for each different thing, because there's so much. Let me really quickly go on the side thing. I did some tuning in this studio a long time ago. I was an acoustician. I did some tuning in this mastering studio, and I had this really amazing conversation. I don't know if it was the mead that they were giving out. There's a drink called mead. It gets you drunk immediately. It tastes really sweet, but you just try it and you're just gone. But anyways, I don't know if it was the mead that got him talking, but he said the biggest lie that people say in the hi-fi world, because he works with hi-fi people in New York, is the fact that they say manufacturers, they will say they want you to hear the music like the artist intended you to hear it. The artist doesn't really want you to hear it how they intended it. They want you to be the yin to the yang. They want you to enjoy their music. And how do you enjoy it? You make it sound good for you. You do whatever it takes to make it sound good for you. If you don't touch the EQ, if you don't touch any of the stuff and you play for it, that's not how they heard it. Chances are you will never hear how they heard it. That's why you got to make it sound good for you, how you can really fall in love with that sound. And there's three types of people that I deal with on a daily basis. There's people that like music, they listen to music. There's people that love music. And then there's people that transcend to music. Okay? If you want to transcend, you got to try to find your acoustic gateway. And the way to do that is to play with the EQs, to play with the sound, different songs. You can get really personal with it and then save it into a preset. When that song is playing, you turn it on, you get goosebumps. It's very, very different. It's a different experience. It's a new world. And I'm really excited about it because we finally did it. Like, we've kept our head down for like 10 years trying to do this thing. And it's finally here. Yeah.
Now, if you guys like what you're hearing, I got a little insider knowledge for you. This is why you watch the show.
Oh, yeah.
Insider knowledge, right? Insider knowledge from Stas. We talked with Stas, and we gave him a little meat before the show.
That's what he's pouring
Now
right
Stas
now.
is saying he's going to be giving. I know, it's meat. Yeah, that's actually from the. It doesn't matter. It's from like Knights and stuff. It's like bee. It's made
It
of
is
honey.
from. Mhm.
But anyway, back to the story. After he had a little bit of mead in him, and he got his sword out and he started chopping things, he said that he's gonna go ahead and slash the prices of the Acoustas starting July.
The best
4th.
holiday in
Is
the
that
world.
right?
Yeah, 4th of July. It's coming up. We're gonna launch this. We've been working basically day and night, soldering at home, everywhere, basically soldering more units. We've had some issues sourcing parts, but we got them in. Everything is back on track, and yes, we will have it 4th of July.
Nice.
Very cool.
So
Check it out. tomorrow.
before he stops drinking that mead, make
Yeah.
sure you
Yeah, it's
check
gonna be
out the
first thing in the
website
morning.
on-
This
2
and
days
we should have
from
probably
now.
started with this. While
tomorrow? Oh.
Nick and I and hopefully Ryan in the future will be sent the AC650. None of us are directly sponsored by or making commission off of this product. We are simply users of it. We all like DSP, and as we've mentioned, there just aren't a lot of options out there. Stas is obviously a really passionate guy that cares about this product. That's why we wanted to have him on, and so, yeah.
I put my name on it.
Actually,
name on it.
yeah, we really should be technically, we really should be pushing mini DSP because we should get paid commission off of that. But we're not. We're not. We both really love this product, and we both used it. And I think that's really the good sign of like what we do here is we don't really, we're not in it for the money. We're in it to look out for the people that we're here representing, not just Stas, but also everyone that's listening. And so we're not going to have someone on here if we think their product's half-baked.
Yeah.
It's not going to come in. And we really do love it. And both Cameron and I, it's funny, I talked to Stas on the phone, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but Stas likes to talk.
That's a true thing. Yeah.
Hey, I like to talk a lot too. I get it. And I was on the phone with him for like 2 or 3 hours, so much so that I ran
That's right. I
on the
remember.
phone,
Yeah.
just talking
That's right.
DSP the whole time. And it was great. I mean, I learned so much from him. And the thing that was cool, we talked about, because Ryan had asked about, hey, no RCA inputs. And I think there are people that are going to want RCA inputs. But me and Stas talked about that because I was concerned about that as well, especially coming from a home theater background, people that want to use their home theater receiver and then use this for like, their front sound stage or something of that nature. You need those. And he mentioned that there is a converter. But before we talk about the converter, we will talk about that in a second. One other thing that I was concerned about is, it only does 2 speakers, but technically, like if you have a subwoofer, you want it to be able to play both the left and the right bass. And so inside the app, it has a way to combine both signals, and it's called a center channel. And technically, you could do that for a center channel speaker too. But it combines both of them, so if you're running a subwoofer, you can run it on that as a sub that plays both the right and left, and that way you get your full bass to your subwoofers. Or you could split them and have true stereo subs.
Okay, so I got a practical question about that. So if someone like myself had this and they were just running a stereo system, they could have a 3-way speaker fully active, like each driver would be controlled because you got
Just
six
like this.
you got 6 outputs on the back, right? Powered outputs.
Powered.
And then you got
6
2
powered outputs,
analog outputs that you could run to powered subwoofers.
Yes.
Is that correct? And
That's right.
You could DSP control each of those 8 outputs.
10 outputs. 10.
Okay. So where are the
10
other
outputs.
2?
There's
2
all fiber optic.
optical. cables,
Fiber optic.
or two. It's one optical. So altogether, it's 10 channels.
Okay. I'm
So you
trying
got to
to think
split diff out.
So how would you use that then? Because
I can explain. Yeah,
All right,
it's kind
yeah.
of awesome. So basically, what you can do is you can daisy chain these amps. You can daisy chain these amps. Okay. So you can obviously you can run more subwoofers and stuff, but what you can actually do is you can have a speaker with 6 drivers and another speaker that's got 6 drivers, and then another 2 subwoofers with 4 subwoofers in your house. I mean, that's crazy, but that's possible.
Right,
If that's
I
not
see.
enough for you, you can have 12 drivers. And the reason why optical is the way to go, because light, there's no delay between when you've got optical. I mean, there is minor, we're talking less than a millisecond delay to go from one to the other.
Yeah.
But basically, you have 10 outputs to play with. And it's so important to be able to, if you want to have a revealing system with a really dark, black, noiseless background, you want to be able to address each individual driver. We're going to have like a white paper coming out pretty soon talking about the benefits of addressing each individual driver. But basically, in the world of live sound, they've been doing this already for about 10 years. And there's massive improvements to the live sound in the last 10 years. They've been doing this in car audio since I was 16 years old, okay? It's been a long time. And it's now time to move from car audio to home audio. And there's the reason you were asking, like, why aren't they doing it? Well, because it's very hard. It's a lot easier to build a preamp or an amp. We can do that. That's no problem. We can put out stuff that would be, Me Too products and stuff like that. But I think right now is the most exciting time because we can combine hardware and software into a cohesive experience that people will just have a gateway to transcend. That's what we want. We want people to get in there.
Yeah, I think you just touched on something. I mean, really, and we've already talked about this a lot, but I think the software that you've combined with it was what really, when you reached out to me, that was what sold me, because I've been building speakers for a long time now, doing it for YouTube for a few years. I should have already at least experimented with DSP, just statistically. I should have at least touched one, and I hadn't, because I thought, speaker building on its own is challenging enough. I'm really not that interested in learning all this other software. I'm already learning simulators and things like that. But after hearing how simple it was to use, and you showed it there briefly, but it's just all in one page. If you've got a measurement microphone, you just keep it set on that same page and develop your speaker. It's so effortless.
Yeah.
Even if you don't, I mean, if you're just using,
Yeah, I mean,
your
you could get
ears,
so far just with your ears, as Nick just said. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, that brings me back to a point you guys made last time, and we were talking about, you guys had some great episodes before about using the measurement microphones versus not using measurement microphones, and together. I mean, you got to use both. I totally agree with you. The interesting thing about having such power in your hands to be able to control the sound like that is the fact that you train your brain and your ears to know what things sound like. Like if you play around enough with the software as you're doing it, I can guarantee you that you will start tuning systems before doing a microphone, and you will be within a certain percentage. You'll be like, hey, I basically tuned this by ear.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. I think...
Yes. So Stas, one...
No, you go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. All right, well, I'm going to change the subject.
Yes.
Stas, Ryan said this to me, and I don't know if he wants to say it now, but I don't care. I'm going to say it. He said, well, that is silly. Why do you have tone controls on the front for treble, mid, and bass? And so we would love to hear, A, treble, mid, and bass. What are the crossover frequencies on those? And B, or are there, or can they be set? And B, why are they there?
That's a great question. So sometimes you don't even want to pull out your phone. You're right there by the amp. You want to add a little bit of bass. You want to add a little bit of mids. You want to add a little bit of highs. It's 11 positions. So in the middle, it's completely bypassed. 5 positions to the left, 5 positions to the right. We've got a low shelf on the bass. We got a high shelf on the right. And in the middle, we've got the mids. It's just a quick thing that you can do without even pulling your phone out, just right there. That's it. It's just a little tactile sort of thing. However, most people just use the app. From what I've talked to the people, I thought people would use those a lot more. On the hardware side, basically everybody that I've talked to, they're like, no, I just use it on the phone. I sit on my couch. I'm not getting up. I'm
surprised.
I'm in there. So actually, yeah.
Can I say one thing that?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead. No, I thought you were done. No, keep going. Okay. Well, one thing that I thought would be cool, and maybe you guys will, is if you could set these for individual channels. You know what I mean? Like channel 9 and 10, and then you could control the volume of it. Like, for example, your subwoofer. Sometimes I like a little bit more bass during certain songs than others. I don't necessarily want to whip out the phone. I don't necessarily want to adjust the bass from everything, just my subwoofer channel, you know.
But presumably that tone control
I don't know.
would adjust some frequency and down or something like that.
It's really there.
Right, but I'm saying I may not want to increase like if that's increasing the bass of every channel, right? Like I may not want to increase the bass of my front speakers because I might be having, distortion issues if I turn it up.
Yeah, mapping those is a possibility. That is a possibility. So this thing is totally programmable. It's all about right now it's all about what do we work on next? We have a list of things to work on. Like I said, FIR filters. We have a whole 2 new products that are going to be incredible that are coming out. There's a whole list of things. So if enough people say, okay, yeah, I would love to have programmable knobs on the front, I don't see why not. That's totally doable. Yeah.
I got to say something to her.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to make two statements to our viewers, and then Stas, if you want to comment or add to them, you're welcome to. But the first is software. I did a review recently, and if you've seen my review of this,
yes, I have.
DSP,
I called it a potato.
Yeah, it wasn't the Acoustas; it was something else, and it wasn't very good. And one of my complaints was the software, and I said. With software, you can still get around it. Like it didn't have a good visual and stuff. You can still get around it, but I gotta say, having good software, even though you can work around it, it's so nice. It's so much better. And so, thank you for putting in good software. It sounds, from what I'm hearing, everybody's very impressed with the software. The other thing I want to say is the power output of the 6 channels. Some people might be a little leery of the.
Well, it's only 50 watts.
But I want to say, and you can expand on this in particular.
Yeah, we can do a demo if you want. Yeah.
When you're driving 3 individual drivers, like a tweeter in particular, is never going to use more than a watt. Most tweeters in most systems are never going to use more than a watt. So if you look at the specs on the Acoustas website, it'll say 6 at 35 watts or something like that. But you're never gonna, if it's in a conventional system like that with a 93 dB tweeter, and it's only 2500 hertz and up or something, you're never using more than a watt. Your mid also is not going to be using very much. Most of that power can be directed to the 3rd channel, the woofers. So just to give people some comfort on that, I saw that, and the decades of thinking about wattage, I kind of went, "Ooh, that's not much," and then I thought, actually, that's not a problem at all. So if you'd like to expand on that, go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. So, it's the most common question people ask, and it's usually coming from people that never built speakers when they can control each individual driver. You'll be surprised how little power they actually need. So when you're controlling 3 different speakers. With a passive crossover, there's a lot of heat dissipation. There's stuff that you do need some power. You're basically driving a pipe through other pipes to get to those. With this, you're literally, the best thing about controlling each driver is you're basically using the lowest impedance possible. This gets a little, I don't want to get too technical, but basically you're building a perfect voltage source. So whatever your amplifier says, the speaker, if it's a quality speaker, it will do. And it doesn't need that much power. The reason why I built these is because these are super low sensitivity woofers. These guys, they're beefy. They're super beefy speakers. Okay, and I wanted to see if we could drive it and stuff like that. This is and it's fine. It drives them more than enough. But there are situations,
Especially
Oh, yeah.
using them near
Absolutely.
field.
yeah. What's interesting is, how much time do we have? Do you guys want me to do something really fun, or do you want to talk more? What do you think?
About 10 minutes or so. No, if you want to do something fun.
Yeah.
So we have a
Sure.
couple questions we're going to address afterwards. But
Yeah,
go,
I'm
go right
totally,
ahead. We can go a little.
I don't know how you guys are on. Are we allowed to go over, or is that not a thing?
We can, but we started a little late, so Ryan might have
Yeah,
to
it
leave
might get a
us.
little late for me, but that's fine.
Well, I'll try to hurry it up. So basically, one of the things that I wanted to show is, yeah. Okay, can you guys see me? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me bring you guys along with me.
Yep.
You guys see me? Okay.
Yeah, we see you.
Okay. So this is the amp.
Whoa! Now this
Okay.
is
So this
sick.
is the amp right here, right?
I like this. I like this.
So what I'm gonna do, okay, is actually here. Let me set you down right here and put you up here for a second. What I'm gonna do is actually bring this power meter out. Now I want you to be able to see. I want you to be able to see.
You might just have to. You might have to read it out. I think it's because of the lighting.
Nice looking speakers.
Yeah, they do look nice.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know if you could see
Yeah, I can see it.
There we go. Yeah, we can see it right
see
there.
the power.
It's
Yeah.
backwards, but
I'm seeing
Oh,
single
it is?
digits.
Oh, I think it's doing like mirroring.
Yeah,
well,
it's mirroring.
yeah.
Oh
it,
no,
it is. I can see 0,
Yeah. So
8.
okay.
It's fine. Well,
So
well,
what that
we're
is,
fine.
I can
Just
tell
tell us what the
Okay,
number
so
is,
no
'cause-
problem. So this amplifier is on right now. It's on Bluetooth, okay? And I'm a big fan of Bluetooth, specifically for like measurements and doing really quick stuff with your phone. That's basically why we have Bluetooth on all of our stuff.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hey, Stas,
Yes.
real quick. If you're gonna play music, it has to be
Oh
copyright.
no, I wasn't gonna. I was just gonna do a signal generator sort of
Oh.
a thing.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so basically right now the amp is on and it's drawing 10 watts. It's basically 10 watts is about $1 a month if you keep this thing on the entire time. So you can technically keep it on the entire time. It's about 90% efficient. One of the things that I like to do, I love this app, by the way, the Audio Tools app. I don't know if you guys use this app a lot, but it's one of my favorites. So one thing that I wanted to demonstrate to people is that, let me put it on me for a second. So a lot of, like, for instance, today, I don't know if you guys got a chance to see the video that Aaron's Audio Corner came out with, how much power you need for speakers. Did you guys
That's what
catch that
made
by
me
any
think-
chance?
Yeah, that's what made me think to ask the question, but I haven't watched this
Yeah.
video yet, but yeah.
So check it out. And actually, I had a bit of a back and forth with him about this, and he actually appended a comment to that video. And I think there's a much simpler way to measure. So if you, for instance, if you have some speakers and you want to be able to tell like how much power I'm using, okay, this is not super hard to do. Basically, what you can do is hook up your amp to like one of these amp meters or watt meters right here, just like this. You see? So I've connected the amp. Then what I wanted to demonstrate is that basically the power, you only need it when the things go down in frequency. So I'm going to go ahead. First of all, let's go ahead and go to this amp. And I'm going to go ahead and just have channel 1. Channel 1 is this right here. That's the only channel I have on right now. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and have this on. And let's go ahead and unmute. Am I connected to it? Sorry guys, let me make sure that I'm actually connected. Oh shit, it's connected to my AirPods. Why is it connected to my AirPods? Okay, there we go.
That power is connected to the power supply.
Yes, so this power right here, it's connected to this amplifier here. I don't know, the iPhone wants to connect to my AirPods. I don't know what's going on with that. It's connected to two, okay, it is connected. So if I play music, not music, but if I play, okay, here it is. Okay, I'm turning it up. Okay, so I'm playing the tone. Oh, it's got a, okay, can you guys hear that?
Yep.
So the tone is about 400 hertz, okay? Look at the wattage. I don't know if you could see the wattage, but the wattage is still 10 watts, okay? And it's pretty loud here. I don't know if you could tell. It's pretty loud. So I'm gonna go down in frequency, and the wattage is gonna go up. Not by much, right? It's still about 10 watts.
Yeah,
Ooh,
there it goes.
I saw 13.
Now it's cranking.
14. I think that's 17. Does that say?
35.
That says SE. I don't know.
So I'm at
31,
96 hertz, and I'm still only at 31 watts, okay? But it is bigger than 10 watts. This amp is so efficient. Look at this, I'm gonna keep going down. I don't know, can you guys hear the bass? Because it's pretty loud in here.
It's coming through.
I'll crank it up.
No.
Oh, I'm definitely messing that up. Okay, I gotta calm down. Let me turn it back up.
Can you show us how much the driver?
Is your kilowatt on the cone?
That's the cone. Can you see it moving?
Yeah.
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 Let me slow it way down.
Yeah.
Now we can't hear it because it's too low in frequency,
But it looks really cool, right?
yeah.
That's pretty cool,
Yeah.
though.
I think
So
the
at
point,
32, yeah.
I think the point you're demonstrating is it's really efficient and that you're not really drawing as much power as you may think until you get into the lower frequencies where you really need some current to move that puppy.
Exactly. And that's what that's basically what I wanted to show, is that there's plenty of power. However, if you do want to drive much bigger speakers, you are going to need more power, and for that we do have another product coming out. But for most people, for most applications, this amp will it's like Ryan was saying, like if you run like 10 watts into a tweeter full power, you're going to be deaf. It's just
trouble.
it's deafeningly loud. Okay,
Yeah.
most mids, if you run like 20 watts into them, like there are tube amps that I'm like 300B and all those tube amps that have 8 watts and they're so loud.
Yeah. People
so anyways,
misunderstand wattage big time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Go ahead.
We are nearing the end, but I know you still have a
Yeah.
lot to talk about. So if it's okay with, unless we,
Well, there's two questions.
yeah, let's go
I
ahead
need
then.
to talk about. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So real quick, two questions. The first one is, have you ever thought about having a DIY kit or a finished speaker that would be sold along with the amp?
If I have some little help from my friends here, you know what I mean? Little
get
help
one
from
done.
my friends.
yeah. I mean, so I've built a few speakers that actually use save states that you can build your own and use the
Yeah.
Acoustas off the shelf. You'll download a file. You don't have to know how to program the DSP. All you'll do is upload the DSP. So at least in that regard, there already are some designs out there floating around by me.
Yeah.
I'm sure Nick and Ryan.
Like your
the Celestion
Celestion
build, for
build,
instance,
right?
that's an expensive build, but that's going to come completely with a save state. And also before that, I've got kind of a KEF R3 Meta bookshelf speaker, truly full range, just top of the line speaker. I think someone had mentioned that they built it. And I mean, yeah.
I honestly feel like a product like this deserves, I mean, the way I would use this product is a 3-way speaker with powered subs, and I would probably match it with drivers that are like 150 plus each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you would use a separate
Yeah,
amplifier
I'd run
for the subwoofers.
the 6
Yeah.
channels to power
Definitely.
the
Like a
3
crown or
ways. And then I believe in satellite subwoofers you can spread around the room. So I'd take those 2 analog outs and I would use DSP to control them. And I'd power them, Pro Audio amps or something. And that lightens the load for the amplifier even more, right? If everything from 70 or
Absolutely.
80 hertz down is handled by the
Oh, yeah.
powered
Oh,
output.
yeah.
Easy.
And then like we're talking about a $800 or $900 product here. I can't remember what it is, and it's very capable from what I'm
Absolutely.
hearing. So I would match it with like, yeah, Pro Audio drivers would be a great choice. A beautiful horn speaker of some kind. You know, $200 plus drivers is where I see this product really shining. You'd have a hi-fi killer. Like nothing in stereophile could touch it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's the thing that I think is crazy, right? Like some people have complained about the price. You're like, hey, $900 is a lot. I don't think it's a lot for this. When you think about everything that you get, like you can power those 3 ways already. You need no other amplifiers. You have the ease of use of the app, which you can do on a computer, PC, a Mac, iPhone, or Android operating system. And you can
just the basic DSP.
Like the ease of
Just
use
the
and
basic
everything.
mini DSP 2x4 is like $300,
Yeah.
I think, and you're getting way less.
And even I think the 8 channels like 700 or something like that. I don't remember the exact price. Someone will, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean it's a fully integrated DSP
but
amplifier.
I mean, when you think about getting the amplifiers and the power supply that's already.
No, yeah, that's what I'm just saying. It's a fully integrated amplifier with all the DSP you could ever want. All you need is a source.
Yeah.
And it's quiet.
Yeah, a
Like,
digital
super
source.
quiet.
Some kind of streamer, a Weem, anything like that. Run it out of your TV.
Bluetooth.
Yeah.
I had the
Yeah.
same
Right,
question.
So
Nick.
CCD has the biggest question of
the
the night.
next?
Because you promised, you said, if we
Yes.
wait till the end, and
Yeah.
Ryan's
So if
even
you
still
stuck
here.
around, that's right. If you guys stick around, I will show you this. One thing I want to mention is that one little comment that I got actually over text. This guy from New York, if you're watching, John, shout out. But basically, he said, "This is incredible because my wife is listening to music when I'm not home. I come home, she's listening to music. She loves it."
Sold.
Exactly. Same with at my house. My kids, they're obsessed with Coldplay right now. They're 3 and 6, and they're just listening to Coldplay all the time. They know how to work the knobs. They know how to work the app, which is incredible. So it is passing the tests, some of the more important tests in that regard. Let me go ahead. Yeah.
It's so weird because it's summertime right now, and my kids are actually really into hot play.
Okay. The
Like
opposite of
jumping in the pool
Coldplay.
'cause it's so hot, you know?
Yeah. But boom.
Like is right over everyone. Oh, Mike Cameron! Oh my God, he did the.
Tell us about the new product.
No,
We
I
wanna
was
know
looking
about
right at
the
you.
Stuff coming.
Let me go ahead and talk about it. And how do I share my screen?
Oh, we get. I haven't
The
seen
same
it
way you
is.
did
Yep.
before. There's that
Window.
little like
Got it. Yep.
computer button in the middle.
Okay.
Actually, I think you can just press H. Yeah.
So let's start with this product. We're gonna talk about
Mike,
two
I
different
haven't-
products. Can you guys see? Oh, you guys can't see it. Let me press this button.
No, you haven't shared it yet.
Okay.
Oh wow.
All right, there you go.
Oh, I don't know what it is, but that's
Oh, that
Yeah,
looks
but everybody
nice.
listening, this is the first time I'm seeing any of this stuff as well. So
Super sharp.
Yeah. Basically, no one has seen this. We've kept our
Not me.
we've-
I've seen
we've
it all.
kept our head down and just been working on this since I don't know, like a year and a half. What you're looking at is a brand new amplifier that is going to come out
That's
very
super
soon. And let me give you a look around, kind of like what it is. The biggest and the most incredible thing about it is that it's fully modular. What I mean by that is these are modules. Okay, this amplifier. Let me take the top off and kind of show you around a little bit. Okay, it doesn't have all the things.
Geez, we might get super shots if we start
Wow.
taking. Never mind.
So first of all, it's going to have a fully linear power supply. Okay,
Oh,
an
man.
ultra linear power supply. That's going to be this section right here. It's going to have these modules that you can buy, and these modules, like these are powered modules, and it's got a DAC and a power modules, and they're going to be a lot. There's going to be options that are less power and more power depending on what you need, and then there's going to be non-powered modules where you can choose the DAC that you want, or go DAC-less, so directly to PWM, or you can go. You can have something that's like 100 watts, 200 watts, 300 watts, and the ones without the power, these guys, you'll be able to choose ESS DACs or AKM DAC. Right now we're just going to focus on two, the top of the line, best of the best for this specific thing. And another really cool thing is that, let me look at the top here, let me turn it this way, is that you see this thing, this is a shield. Once you take this shield off right here, you'll be able to access everything underneath there, where you'll be able to roll some of the analog inputs, which leads me to the fact that we will have analog inputs. We will have two XLR inputs. We will have
nice.
analog input. We will have a phono stage. Okay.
Oh, nice. Oh,
we
cool.
will have a phono stage. We will have all the digital inputs you will ever want. And also on top of that, this guy right here, that is a Raspberry Pi where you can run open source streamers such as Mood Audio,
Yeah.
such as Volumio, Rune Ready, all that stuff you can run right from here. It's also going to be shielded. That's why we have this thing, but you know, it's not all going to be green like that, but that's Raspberry Pi right there. It's going to be right there. And yeah, that's basically, in a nutshell, that's what it is. These are going to be some really high quality volume knobs, really high quality feet. We basically designed everything. This is the most complex, the most advanced product we've ever worked on. It is going to be amazing. So this is one of product number one.
So how many inputs is that going to have? Did you say that? Is it just the
Yes.
4 input?
No, it's actually quite more. So one, let's go through them together. So XLR,
Well, I'm
that's
sorry,
one.
Yeah.
Oh, do you mean matrixing? Or
Yes.
do you mean like actual inputs?
I guess technically I am asking how many inputs to outputs can you do?
Yeah.
Like, can you do 4 in and
That's
8 out?
that's the
or
thing. So
is
we
it
should have
2
talked about
in
that. So
and
there's
4
you're
out?
talking about a matrix DSP. This is not a matrix DSP, and we will have a matrix DSP. So matrix DSP is more for like home theaters and stuff like that. This is more for like setting up systems that are you've got just one input at a time. So you've got either analog in, digital in, that sort of thing. So it's a non-matrixing situation. For matrixing, we will have,
Which is
Yeah.
sweet. I mean,
yeah, for matrixing, this whole entire thing is just going to be analog inputs. That's all that is. It's going to be just like 10 by 10 situation. It'll be very similar to this, but instead of all these different inputs, it's going to have just all analog inputs. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but you know, for what it's worth, I'm being very open with everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
and the outputs are going to be different power modules, different
Yeah,
amplifier
these are
then?
modules. You'll be able to put them in and snap them in. There's a very specific system that we're working on. There's nothing like it out there. I don't know if you guys ever played Nintendo when you were kids, but you'll be able to snap them in into these these guys. You just snap them in. You don't even have to take the top off. You just take these 4 thumb screws out, snap them in and out, and these modules are going to be sold separately. So whatever system you want to build, it's all the analog stuff is all going to be completely linear power supplies. This is going to be another toroid here and stuff like. But let me just say this: this does not put out.
Silly question.
This does not put out AC650. This is just going to be a more expensive product for much more, like a different kind of a system. Even though AC650 is going to be like, it's a higher end system. Yeah.
You've already set the bar really
higher wattage as well. Then will
What is it?
will the modules have different
Wattages?
output
Yes.
wattages?
So this toroid and the power supply, you're going to be able to run up to 1,000 watts. I don't know. It's a little more. Yeah, it's a little more this time. But different modules will have different wattages, like the ones with the heat sinks. And we're going to have a really special one that we're working on right now that will not have a heat sink, which is a GAN FAT situation.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's yeah, that one's going to be a little less wattage, and then we're going to have one that's going to be just 100 watts. So if you're running tweeters and stuff like that, you'll go with the lowest one. If you want to run like a bigger, like a 12-inch mid or something like that, you can go with the middle. And if you really need some oomph behind it, you need some real power, you can go with the ones that are with the heat sinks and things like that. So this is like an all-in-one system. The other product,
so cool.
Let me go ahead and show you the other product. This is basically the same, but it's a pre. Okay, it's not no powered outputs, and it's all 100%. You got to get your own amplifiers. Basically, it's all just pre's, and you'll be able to get your own any kind of DACs. So whatever DACs you want on the inputs, it will be available. So if you like ESS DAC, you can get an ESS. We're working on ESS Pro version, the latest one that's got like ridiculous signal to noise ratio. If you want, also another thing that I forgot to mention, when you lift this shield, you'll be able to roll your op amps, and you'll be able to roll your op amps on the DACs too. So if you want to use like Sparco's op amp or something like that, you'll be able to do that. Some people don't do it. Some people do it. There are some advantages to doing that. And there's going to be another way to control the phono stage through here, give it some more gain and things like that. But essentially, this is fully modular preamp that you can build yourself. You can have 8 outputs and 1 digital one to be able to daisy chain or do whatever you want with the digital output. Yep. So that's it. Mm-hmm.
Now, is this considered
No,
matrix
these two are
or
not matrix. The matrix, when you see us do a matrix,
Okay.
There's 2 more products that will come out after these, and those are going to be matrix. And what matrix is specifically to address the home theater folks. The home theater folks, they want to be able to take input 1, and there's no such thing as left channel, right channel. You're basically taking channel 1 and outputting it to like channel 2 or channel 3 to channel 4. You're basically patch baying the situation.
Yeah.
We might look into doing something like that here, but that's not
Right. So like we
yeah.
could have like 5 inputs and 10 outs or whatever, and then have 5.
Yeah.
I
10
think we can
two-ways.
we can do better than that. I think, yeah.
Or
But
whatever.
that's the idea. And the front is going to be kind of like this, which is very hard to do, but we're working on it, and we're going to make it so that the software and hardware work seamlessly together, and it should look very good. So that's kind of the sneak peek. Where'd you get? There you go. So that's kind of like the sneak peek into the future. What do you guys think? Like, what are your thoughts? Like, I'd love to hear some feedback.
Don't everybody speak all at once.
Everyone at once.
We're floored. I think it's great. I am a home theater guy, so I'm very curious about what you're calling matrixing DSP in the future, because I want that ability to. The review I did was that Dayton DSP 408,
Yeah.
and the IOs on that was exactly what I was looking for. It was 4 in, 8 out. Am I right? Is that what it was?
Yep.
That's
408,
what I
yeah.
need. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Not everybody
least.
needs what I need. Yeah, at least. Not everybody needs what
Yeah.
I need, but that's what I was looking for. So a product like that, I'm like your first customer. But
Okay.
But for stereo, this is really cool.
Because let's
Yeah.
be honest, in the home theater market, there's no competitor. I mean, there's Mini DSP and
That's it.
I guess Dayton 408, but that's it.
Not
There's no
anymore.
other competitors.
Yeah.
Well, but
Yeah.
I'm saying like those are the 2, right?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Cameron. Were you going to say something?
I just wanted to answer your question. I mean, I'm stoked for the modularity that comes with the first design that you showed us, of being able to swap out and not only fine tune in the software what I want, but be able to customize exactly what type of modules or power or demands that I've got for exactly the system that I want to build. If I say I'm going high efficiency when I buy this thing, and then 6 months later I want to go with something that's a full range, like Nick's Epic HiFi, you're going to need a lot of power
Yeah.
to drive that. And so I change out the modules to something that's a little more heavy-handed that can really drive those. So
Yeah.
something like that is just going to future-proof it.
They don't need a lot of power.
But yeah, something that can really get those epic drivers moving. So yeah, that's kind of what excites me about it.
Yeah, you know what excites me about that is like you can so many people can use that for completely different reasons, right? Like someone could buy that and hook up just subwoofers to it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
They
true.
could just buy it for subwoofer modules and hook up as many subwoofers as they wanted to and use the DSP to really get like the nice even response, get your phasing in, especially if it has FIR filters. So like, that'd be so sweet.
Yes,
or you could do like a 3-way or 4-way some build, right? Like you guys have been to, well, you've seen the speakers at Exponent where they have the real 18-inch subwoofers in it, right? And then the real like the mids and the tweet, and by the time you're done, like that thing needs some real power. You could give it the real power to the subwoofers.
You can.
While still, you
Yeah.
know, like we already talked about, your mids and your tweeter don't need much. Just like that's
So
cool.
a lot of people actually they use music as a therapy. They use music to literally like meditate, to really like it's better than drugs for some people. And I'm one of those people. It's a different situation for me. For certain songs, there are certain bands, certain songs that literally put me in a trance, in a feeling of a weightlessness. And for some of these songs, you do need a bit more oomph and things like that. And the AC650 does it for me, absolutely. But I can't wait to see what I can do. I'm basically building these for myself, to be honest. I'm going to be the guy that's going to have a system for every one of my friends, all of my family members. Everybody's going to have incredible sound systems. That's the goal. All of my friends, or my family, everybody, and myself. And with these amps, we're going to be able to do systems like any system you can come up with in your mind. You can address each driver, no matter how big it is, how small it is. You can buy the right module for whatever it is and build it and tune it from your phone, from the computer. It's basically a dream for me to have something like this. And I hope I'm not the only one, but at the same time, even if I am, I'll be fine with that too. I'll just use the shit out of this thing. It'll be my forever system, you know what I mean? But like, I have a feeling this will change a lot of people's lives for the better. Yeah.
I agree. And don't forget, guys, the 4th of July, starting tomorrow, actually, is going to be a huge sale on the Acoustas, the best of the year for the 4th of July. So if you've been looking at getting one, make sure to go ahead and check the website tomorrow morning. Now, guys, we have stayed a little bit over the time. So because of that, we're going to do real short little interludes. We always talk about what's coming up on our channels. So Impulse Audio, you look like you're about ready to fall
Sorry,
asleep.
it's late here.
So do you have anything?
It's not.
That's all right. Do you have anything coming up on your channel that you'd like to talk about?
No, I'm
is
just I'm enthralled actually, even if I look all washed out and gray. No, I'm working away on our Chiari stuff, and so I got stuff coming on that.
Yes.
Yep.
Cool. How about you, Nick?
I could sure use an
So-
AC 650 for that build.
Yeah, same.
No, we're
Mine's
not doing
right there, and I'm
DSP
like,
for that
man.
one. Bobby Burkett
do
asked
that.
me a question. He said, "Hey Nick, what's your go-to for a 3D printer?" I want to tell you right now, like if you're looking for like a budget one, this is the one. I shared the link down below. It is an affiliate link, so it does help out the channel. But it is by far, if you guys know who Tom Zarbo is, I did a thing with him. He's like, Nick, I need a 3D printer that just won't, I won't have to mess with forever, right? Like I just want it to print and be good. And so I told him to get this, and he got it last week and has been printing, as far as I know, nonstop. It might have been 2 weeks ago. And so this is it. This is the Creality K1C 3D printer. I have one myself. They're really $559 is really inexpensive. It can do carbon fiber printing. It already has an enclosure, so it has the ability to do other materials that you might want to do. Otherwise, it has a camera on there, which allows you to view it wherever you are in the world, as long as you have some type of connection to it. You can send the stuff right from your computer to the printer via your network. It's just a fantastic printer. But the most important thing is it just works. You know, it like if you want to get started now and it just works, like that's
that looks
it.
really great, but Bobby should
Go ahead.
save his money and buy an AC 650 instead.
Yeah.
I don't think it will 3D print for
he
you.
can
And
make some
I
money
will say this
with the 3D printer.
I just built this.
There you go.
Yeah, and then buy an AC650.
This is a Murphy bed behind me that I just got done building. It's not completely finished yet. You'll see this change as we shoot more videos. But I had to have certain holes in a certain spot. I designed something real quick in SketchUp for it to hold the part in place so that I could drill the holes and put them exactly where I wanted them. That 3D printer saved me, I mean, at least $100 in wood if I would have made a mistake on it, you know. So, and the part printed off. I actually just went to sleep and did it, but that's it. Now, someone else had asked, Greg Kramer did say, thanks again for the Dayton DSP review, Ryan. Now I want to sell mine.
Oh, sorry, Greg.
So I've been telling the kids, I've been telling the other guys about this, but I have not shown it to you guys. I am trying to finish this up this week so that you guys can see it, but I have felt like every single person that has a home theater should also have an arcade. And in the arcade, you have to have your own pinball machine.
Woo!
So
Wow.
I'm working on this,
That's
finishing
awesome.
up this pinball machine. It's all honeycomb on the side. It's all
That's a lot of work.
old birch plywood.
Nice.
That's nice.
It is a lot of work.
Really nice.
It's got the legs on it, the metal legs. I'm finishing up hopefully the wiring tonight, and then we'll hopefully have that. I got to lay the TVs in there. This is a virtual pinball machine, meaning you know, it's going to use televisions and a computer. And Minis Forum actually sent me the computer for it. Dude, it's like a $500 mini computer, like fits in the size of your hand. I cannot believe it runs
Wow.
this. Like, it's crazy. I wouldn't believe that would be possible like 10 years
Yeah.
ago.
They've come a long way.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's like as good as my desktop computer, but it's pretty darn powerful
Yeah.
for what it is. Actually, if I was getting into speaker design, I would buy one of the mini PCs. They're like $200. They have HDMI out. You can hook it up right to your TV.
Yeah.
Like if you don't like if you're like I don't have a computer, you can get them for $200 or less.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, sorry, Cameron. Go ahead.
So I'm actually going back to the Stone Age. I know we spent an hour and a half talking about DSP, but coming up, apart from my Chiari build, which is the competition that Nick and Ryan and I are doing a build off, the predetermined winner is me already. But we're still going to do the build off and compete. Neither one of them caught that.
Nice try.
Anyway.
I wasn't listening to you.
Big ears. Yeah, I'm going to have a video on how to read and implement a crossover schematic. So let me go back to the basics. We've had several people ask us about that over the last few episodes of the stream, so I figure I'll take advantage of take a little break between big speaker builds while I'm working on the Chiari build and put out something informative. So that's what I got coming up.
Nice.
Very cool.
Great call. I like that.
Awesome.
Well, Stas, is there anything you want to say before we get going?
No, just thank you for having me. It's been awesome. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think
Thanks
we're
for
going to have to
sharing.
get you back on after some of those product releases, talk about how they're going, see if we can get some of them in our hands. And yeah, I think we'll definitely have to have you back on. There's so much we didn't talk about.
Yeah, there really is. Yeah, I love talking about this. That's why I can't believe an hour went by. Like this is,
It happens.
you know,
fast.
usually I sit there and I solder when I listen to you guys, you know, and time goes by really fast. But today it really went by quickly. So I think this, like, mark my words, this is like starting today. This is going to be the biggest audio show in the world.
I hope you're
Starting
right.
right now. Let's go. Let's go. I'm so excited.
Might be the only one.
Well, you know what
That's
I mean?
true.
I mean,
Probably number one
Yeah.
in DIY audio
Yeah.
for sure.
maybe it already is. Maybe I'm onto something. You know, maybe it already is. But like, I'm really excited for all the stuff that's coming out right now. Like, I'm just ready for innovation in this field, and I want to see some incredible speakers built that are under $100,000, like something that people can enjoy, they can build into their lives, that's like transcending them into oblivion.
Well,
You know, before we go, I just want to say this, because when we talk about speakers transcending and $100,000 speakers or whatever, you know, one of the things that makes that is also what it looks like.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think us DIYers especially need to do a better job sometimes of bringing out designs that look as good as they sound.
yeah.
Absolutely.
It's tough.
A lot of them are pretty good though.
Like not just a rectangular
I mean,
speaker.
you guys all build incredible speakers.
Well, I mean, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that you know, there's better way to do crossovers and implement the actual sound of it. And obviously, I want to make the amps look incredible. Something that, you know, because a lot of people are like, you know, women are not in this hobby. Well, I know why, because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of wires, and it's all just that, you know. Look, with these amps, I know plenty of, like, well, a couple of people that I know for sure, in my experience, they like it clean, neat, and easy to work. You just bring up an amp, you turn it on, boom, there is your Taylor Swift or Coldplay or you know, or Guns N' Roses in some cases. You know, women do love music, and they do want to transcend. They just don't want the wires. They don't want all the stuff. You know, they don't want the stuff. Yeah.
our viewers only listen to Taylor Swift. And on that, let's see you guys later.
Bye,
Have a
guys.
good night.
See ya.